So on yesterday's episode of Wrestling News and Rumors, talked about a mysterious WWE superstar, former WWE superstar, who didn't really get a chance in WWE, debuting on Impact in a set of vignettes. So we got the word on it yesterday and during Impact Wrestling's taping event. They cut the vignettes, and it's Steve Maclin, known to most wrestling fans as the former WWE star Steve Cutler. This makes a ton of sense with him coming to Impact because he's in a relationship with Deonna Purazzo. She's there. So it's Steve Cutler. So it's not the most exciting news. It's Steve Cutler. I mean, he wasn't huge in WWE, part of the Forgotten Sons. You know, that's pretty much it. Nothing much else. He got released because of some COVID issues, and he's now with his significant other in Deonna Purazzo on Impact. We'll see how he turns out in Impact, but it's not the most exciting news. I didn't think it was going to be either. You know, talked about it on yesterday's episode. I just didn't think it was going to be that anything great in us really caring about who it was, but we'll see how Steve Cutler actually turns out in Impact Wrestling. Let's go to this next thing. It's an interesting one and kind of a groan probably from a lot of wrestling fans, as Zach Clayton on bringing a little AEW to Jersey Shore family vacation. So this guy right here, Zach Clayton, you've never seen before. He is currently the boyfriend, fiance now of Jwow from Jersey Shore. And he's an aspiring professional wrestler who has had, some shows on Dark and Dark Elevation. And, you know, he's bringing that to the Jersey Shore in this new season, where there's an actual session where they put a little wrestling show together, The Situation and Ronnie and all those guys, along with Clayton himself. So whatever the story's about, not a big deal, but could we end up seeing some of the Jersey Shore members on AEW television like we've seen them before on Impact TNA television before? This could be a massive groan from everybody involved who watches the show, because we don't want to see them on the show. So could we see a Snooki there like she was at WrestleMania? Could we see a Jwow? And I think a Ronnie was there on TNA before. Could we see that? Because now, since he's had some matches on Dark Elevation, he's worked with Sonny Kiss and QT Marshall, could we see him be there? But, you know, I didn't even know he was a professional wrestler, but shout out to him. You'll see that episode during the Jersey Shore family vacation of him actually doing a little wrestling show with the guys on the show. But I don't know if we're going to see anybody from the Jersey Shore on AEW television. That might not be the greatest thing, but, you know, you never know. They could do it just to try to get some publicity, crossover promotion there from when Jersey Shore, the actual show, was on the air, and live episodes, and, you know, going over to Impact. They could promote it because it comes out on Thursdays, so they could promote it on Impact and Dynamite the night before on Wednesday, so it could happen as well. But I don't really think a lot of people are gonna be too happy seeing that there. So we'll see if AEW kind of goes that route and bringing more of the celebrity, they're not really celebrities but pseudo celebrities, over to the show and doing cross promotion. We'll see how that works out, and if Clayton himself would actually be featured on maybe an episode of Dynamite. Let's get to this last story here, and it's backstage updates on the WWE New Japan Pro Wrestling talks and Daniel Bryan's potential involvement. So remember, this story broke. It was a big rumor that New Japan and WWE were in talks. Nick Khan was heading these talks. He's the point man on it from WWE, about making WWE the exclusive American partner for New Japan Pro Wrestling. We obviously heard Tony Khan's response to that, and I don't really think he came off that great in his response. And it seems to be like, the way his response came off is that, you know, WWE's living in AEW's head rent free right now, and they keep kind of like, you know, poking and prodding at WWE. It's not a good look for AEW. So it wasn't the best look for Tony Khan to come out there and talk about Nick Khan and WWE and all that stuff like that. So most of this has to do, with Daniel Bryan. It says, regarding Bryan, the new report says he's absolutely a part of the early talks between WWE and New Japan Pro Wrestling. That has not been the case of late, at least not as the major aspect of the talks. One source noted that Daniel Bryan's potential involvement has not been a part of any recent discussion. So the rumor was that Daniel Bryan was a major part of this, getting Daniel Bryan to work over there and stuff like that, which he still could. I mean, you can still see it happening. But it says New Japan officials will not agree to any deal unless they feel like it's extremely beneficial to them. And obviously WWE wants it to be extremely beneficial to them too as well. So, you know, they've done this before. They've never gotten anywhere. You know, they have a working relationship with AEW, Impact, and AAA. But exclusiveness, they can't work with anybody else. We'll see if that ends up happening. But it says here, it was noted the deal discussed is more likely related to WWE NXT and not a situation where top New Japan stars will be brought to WWE to lose to top WWE stars and vice versa. So yeah, I mean, that's what it seems like. I kind of felt like that was what it was going to be in the beginning too. It's going to be NXT, maybe do NXT Japan over there, and that's the kind of bridge to kind of do that and have these guys show up on NXT and have big matches there against the current NXT guys. Because again, it's not beneficial to either if they go to Japanese star comes over here, loses to Roman Reigns, and then Roman Reigns goes over there and loses to a Japanese star over there. It's not really super beneficial, so that's not the road they're going to take with it. We'll see how this ends up turning out. We'll see if Tony Khan has anything else to say about it and more shots fired at Nick Khan as he did last week, which wasn't a good look for him. But we'll see. I mean, there's still talks of this going on, and we'll see how far they can get with it. My opinion is going to fall apart soon. I don't think a ton is going to come of it. And if it does, it's going to be very lackluster. New Japan, NXT, and like an NXT Japan type of thing. And then that's pretty much all we're going to get out of it, I think, anyways. And I'm not going to put too much into this one and bank on it too much. But we'll see how AEW responds if it does end up actually happening and AEW can no longer work in New Japan. That should be interesting in how Tony Khan decides to talk about WWE and New Japan on his show, which isn't a good look for him, but he still will continue to do it. So we'll see how it goes. But guys, that's the news and rumors for today. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Remember, drop a like on this video, hit the chair in the corner before it hits you first, and sub to the channel. Stay tuned tonight for AEW Dynamite, Friday Night Dynamite, and Friday Night SmackDown reviews and reactions. Tomorrow, 11 a.m., Saturday, 11 a.m., we are doing a retro review of Night of Champions 2009 with a regular crew of retro review guys I do it with, so make sure you tune into that live stream. Make sure you check out that show as well. Night of Champions 2009 is a good one. It's a sleeper. Make sure you check that out. And I got some other stuff in the works, maybe dropping this weekend as well, so I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.